and welcome back to Attorney Paz's Rants of a Criminal Defense Attorney. This week I want to talk about the most recent Dulos arrest. So as many of you know, the Dulos saga has been pretty quiet for the last couple of weeks, and then pretty shockingly yesterday the Connecticut State Police go and pick him up from his home on a new warrant for tampering. I read said warrant. Said warrant is 23 pages long and pretty much outlines the entire history of the investigation thus far. So it's pretty interesting reading. It's also pretty dramatic reading because there are a lot of unsupported statements in there, such as, for example, this is the last photo of Jennifer Dulos alive. Nobody knows whether she's dead or not. And we believe Fotis Dulos was driving this car. There's no photo of him driving the car. You may want to think he's driving the car, but you have nothing but speculation that he was driving this car. So it's pretty dramatic, and I'm pretty surprised that the state attorney has such flair for dramatics. But what really bothers me about the warrant is that the state attorney has the authority, when there is a pending case like this, to simply add a charge. And the state attorney does this a number of times, and mostly in connection with people who refuse to settle their cases and plead. So, for example, you get arrested, you go to court, you're charged with one offense. You say, I don't want to settle my case, I don't want to plead, I want my trial. And then the state attorney then will add as many charges as he thinks is supported in the police reports and or warrants because he can. So they don't need to go out and get another warrant for your arrest on those other, 2, 3, or however many charges to add on to you. And there's no need for an additional bond to be posted. And there's no need for a judge to find probable cause. Not saying I agree with that, but that's what happens in the criminal justice system. So the state attorney in this case could have just added on, filed a substitute information, adding another tampering charge, but they didn't do that. And why didn't they do that? Because of the flair for the dramatics. What they really wanted was for him to be picked up without notifying his attorney, which, by the way, is common courtesy in the defense bar for the police to notify the criminal defense attorney that a warrant is out for his or her client's arrest and to arrange for the person to turn him or herself in. And this avoids a lot of complications like, high bonds being posted, being embarrassed in your community, and in Fotis Dulos' case, being transported in custody from Farmington to Bridgeport, which is an extremely long drive, and thus prolonging his amount of time in custody. So that was a big deal. But also they slapped another $500,000 bond on him. And this just leads me to conclude that the only thing that, or the only goal that the state attorney really had from this arrest was to try to deplete his resources in an attempt to keep him incarcerated. Because like I said, they could have just added another charge, which wouldn't have required another bond and wouldn't have required another warrant, another signing of probable cause. But what they did was they took him without notifying his attorney and put another really high bond on him. Dramatic, extremely dramatic, unnecessary. And notice also still there's no murder charge. So that's my rant for the day. State attorney has extreme authorities, a lot of power, and in this case, they're messing with Fotis Dulos, essentially. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to call me, email me, Brittany@rowainattorneys.com, and as always, take care, don't get arrested, and see you soon.